What if you could go into the future to tell your future self stuff that your future self needs to know to improve their life? Does that sound crazy? Because isn't our future self supposed to come back in and be the one to teach us how to move forward through things that we don't understand? Well, I'm experiencing something quite contrary to that idea, and I think you might be too, and that's what we're going to dig deeper into the surface of in today's episode. So, come on, my friend, let's dig into it. Welcome to you. My name is D. Grant Smith. I am the growth farmer for personal development through the lens of spirituality and storytelling. If you are brand new to the channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Go ahead and hit subscribe. And I don't usually tell people to hit the bell icon because I'm not sure if people actually pay attention to that or not. Actually, I really don't, but I do pay attention to the channels that I'm subscribed to, and I would love to have you join into this community. If you are already a subscriber, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you being here. I've had kind of a series of different experiences over the past couple weeks that's really started to change the way that I think about my future self knowing everything that I need to go through or how to get through the things that I'm going through so that I'm only listening to what would my future self do. It turns out that we have always known exactly what it is that we need as we go through the journey. We just convince ourselves that we don't. So, whatever it is that's going on in your life right now, maybe everything is hunky dory and awesome, sweet. But if there's some sort of challenge or series of challenges that you continue to face and you're making incremental progress, or even if you feel stuck and like you're doing all the work but nothing seems to work, I encourage you to spend some time thinking about and maybe even meditating on or going back and looking at some of your memories, some of your history, maybe journals from the past. If you are a writer like me, what are some things that you've written in the past that were really helping you understand what you were going through? Because chances are there's some golden nuggets of wisdom inside your history to give you exactly what it is that you think your future self could tell you, but your past self actually knows. So here's a couple things that I've been learning recently as I'm continuing to go through my journey. One thing is a video that I reposted in my shorts. You'll notice when you go to my shorts that one video I'm completely clean shaven, I've got a short haircut, and it's like, oh, this dude got a haircut and he got shaved. And then the next video, I look like I do now. Well, here's the deal. I'm replaying and resharing some stuff that I have archived that comes up in my memories that I really feel harmonizes with what I'm feeling in the moment and I believe can help you too. But in these past episodes, these past recordings, I have a different countenance. My energy is still very lively and very loving, but my face looks a little bit different. That's what's going on there. One of my recent short videos that I posted talks about how everything is right on time, and that is a quote in a lot of ways from one of my favorite Trevor Hall songs that I think is by that same title, "Everything Right on Time." And what he sings about in that song is that we can get lost in our heads telling us that what we want is something that's way out in the future, or it's going to take a long time for it to get there, or it's going to take us a long time for us to get to where we want to go. And getting out of that negative headspace of there being this gap between where we are and where we want to be, and recognizing that everything is divinely timed. Everything is happening right on time. We're not late, we're not behind. Everything is going exactly the way that it needs to go. And I'll admit that I have gotten in my own head numerous times thinking that I missed the boat or I should have done something different at some point in my past, or if I only had all my stuff figured out way sooner, then I would be much further along than I am right now. Well, it turns out that's not true. And it took me watching something from 2 years ago to be reminded of my past self saying, hey, dude, you're right on time. That filled me with such peace and such love and was such a beautiful reminder that no, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And every little step along the way has been preparing me for where I'm going, but it's really not even about the destination as much as it is the journey. And the journey becomes more and more beautiful by embracing the process. And I keep being reminded of that by reading and hearing things that I talked about years ago. A friend of mine named Ron Perry, who I have a show with on the Fireside app called Zen to Pen, Two Writers, Two Mediums. Ron is a songwriter. I'm a storyteller. We get together and we talk about the power of stories. Well, one of the things that he's been doing on a different app is reading a book that I published in 2019 called Be Solid, How to Go Through Hell and Come Out Whole. I'll put a link for that down below. It's my journey into self-love and learning not only what love is, but how to love myself after going through gut-wrenching, heartbreaking divorce. And I do a lot of metaphoric comparisons between that journey in becoming a solid person and an experience that I had about 10 years prior to that in amateur boxing, because there's a lot of correlations there. But recently, Ron has been on the Wisdom app reading my book chapter by chapter, and he has such a soothing, warm, wonderful vocal tone. It's been so wonderful to get to hear my words coming from his voice. But as I'm listening to him read my book, I'm reminded of things that I learned 4-6 years ago when I was going through my process that are still applicable now in my life. Different phase of the journey, different things that I'm going through, different sides of a different coin, but those principles and those truths still ring true. And so it's so interesting and so powerful to recognize, and I'm doing this more and more with my heart and more with my spirit, and recognizing that we already have all the answers that we think we need from other people. Our own lives are so full of all of the gold and all of the wisdom, and not only that, all of the worth that we think we have to get to some place to be able to experience. No, my friend, you have it right now. So look through some things that maybe you have thought doesn't matter anymore because it's not a part of your life anymore, maybe a journal from a couple years ago, and look at the wisdom that you had then. That wisdom still has value in your life now, because you have always had everything that you need to move forward. Speaking of moving forward, and you automatically already having everything that you need, there's another great story that I want to share with you that's called Hope Flows. Inside this story, it's something that takes a lot of twists and a lot of turns and actually only a few short pages. It's not a very long read, but I promise you it will bless your life. Inside this story, there's a real small town in Nebraska that's totally fictional. If you look it up, it doesn't exist. But inside this fictional small Nebraska town of about 200 and something people, in a short amount of time, 6 people have been found dead. And all of these 6 people have links to one particular guy who seems to be an all-around good dude that everybody loves. But could it be that he's got some secret problems and issues that he hasn't worked out yet that are actually causing a negative ripple effect in the lives of other people? Well, 2 detectives come from Lincoln to find out. And what they discover when they meet this young man named Sam and his intriguing yet very mysterious younger sister named Hope, that there's a whole lot more than meets the eye. Now, inside this story, there's a story beneath the story. And there's so much in here that ties into what I just shared with you about us already having what it is that we need and our past being a teacher for our present that is worth you digging into and exploring further. The story, once again, the short novel, is called Hope Flows. I'll put a link for it down below. When you get it, you get the readable version and the audiobook version bundled together, so you get the best of both worlds all at once. I know this story will bless your life, and I look forward to sharing it with you. I appreciate you being here today. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I believe in you. I love you. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again soon.